What's something you can't believe you had to explain to another adult? In regards to the North and South Poles, neither is the one that is always hot. I guess they were thinking about the equator. Yes sir, when you sign up for insurance you're agreeing to pay for it. Why a room below sea level on a cruise ship would not have a balcony? A balcony bubble would be pretty cool, terrifying. Well shit, I want that to exist now. I once had to explain to a college friend that Indians didn't have spices running in their blood that allows them to eat spicier food. On the contrary, I had a college friend who is Indian, and he tried to convince one of our other friends that he did have spices in his blood. That no matter how much you might want to put a camo pattern on your walls, you, not the paint, have to determine what that pattern looks like, and you will also have to purchase multiple cans of paint tinted differently, because camo doesn't come out of a can that way. This is one of the rare times wallpaper is a reasonable choice. Insofar camo walls are a reasonable choice. I had to explain to my friend that the earth wasn't 2019 years old. Happy birthday to the ground. I threw the rest of the cake too. Had to explain to my wife that pickles were made of cucumbers. She didn't believe me, still not sure she does. Ask her if she can buy you some pickle seeds you want to grow some next spring. That earth has one moon. The new moon on the calendar every month confused her. That Halloween has never and will never fall on Friday the 13th. It was my mom. Experienced this. It was my aunt. She had some meme that said Halloween that year was the first one to fall on Friday 13th in 666 years or some ridiculous crap like that. That's like /r/Bonner hurting juice levels of humor. I had to explain to my mother that mussels are meat. A piece of meat was tough, and so I must have said something about what part of the cow the mussel came from. No, we weren't eating mussels. We were eating meat. She was sickened by the concept that anyone would eat mussels. Somehow this got to the point of her claiming that humans didn't have any meat on them because they aren't food. I did not win that argument. Humans have no meat. Meat is not mussels. Period. Oh, it turns out people are not part of the animal kingdom either. It was a dismal childhood. And there comes that stop disrespecting me part when someone younger starts winning an argument. I had to explain to a teacher, in front of her class, that a penguin was a bird. I didn't want to be like that, but she was adamant that, if it didn't fly, it wasn't a bird. Obviously she's right. Emus aren't birds either. They are bloodthirsty killing machines. We wouldn't have needed to fight a war against them if they were just birds. When a smart bomb strikes a building and blows it up, it doesn't just kill the bad guys, it kills everyone in the building. Smart only means it's going to hit the building instead of a random location. Smart bomb goes off, kills all the terrorists and the guy who lit it 20 minutes ago. Don't bring your dog to work and let her pee/poop on the carpet. Tiny poop and little puddles are not okay just because they are tiny. She weighs 4 pounds. He said she's so little it doesn't matter. He said he never even notices at home, and if I had a dog, I'd feel differently. Have a dog. Still don't want urine and feces in my carpet at home or at work. My mother told me nobody can live on $40,000 USD a year, and I was unable to get her to understand that it is pretty normal to make $40,000 or less and people do fine with that salary. It's one banana, Michael. What could it cost? $10? My friend worked at Office Depot and had to explain to a customer why he couldn't make him photocopies of a $20 bill. Oh, of course you can just photocopy $20 bills. I just slave here answering stupid questions for you because I enjoy the human interaction. Well, sir, it's not illegal to serve food that tastes bad. No, this isn't a police issue. Please tell the story of how this happened. Canada is part of North America. Pretty much anything geography related. Most people are simply terrible at knowing where things are even within their own local regions. Island isn't in the continent of Mexico. Had to explain to someone that islands don't tip over if you put too much weight on the edge. Was it a congressman you were speaking to? As a server, there are so many times I have to explain to guests that chicken can't be cooked medium rare. I won't get salmonella. This is chicken, not salmon. And don't call me Shirley Ella. No, you should not perform an auto-vasectomy at home. You should see a doctor for that. To be fair, there is only one person that can perform an auto-vasectomy. She's an educator. It was one of those days where Mars was super bright. She was super sure the moon was Mars, and suddenly it was super visible and close to Earth. Like, it came super close and fucked back off overnight. Boo, Mars. Press up when you want to go up in the elevator and down if you want to go down. She thought you had to guess where the elevator was, and if it was under you, let's say, you had to press up. Is she still stuck in an elevator somewhere? Some say she's still pressing buttons to this day. To make pasta you have to boil the water. Mac and cheese. That shouldn't be too hard. Boil water. What am I, a chemist? My dad had like 6 or 7 paid recurring charges for internet porn and out of malware on his computer. I had to explain free porn to my 67-year-old dad. So, that was something. My wife and I had to explain to the neighbor that our dog is part of our family, and no, they can't just have him. Their kids wanted our dog, which was cute, until the mother also decided that she wanted our dog, and it was only fair that they got to have him on the weekends, because we get to have him all week long. This happened to a friend of mine. It got to the point of this family taking the dog out of their yard while they were at work, and then be seen taking it on walks a few days later in the same neighborhood. They ended up having to move the dog to her mum's place several suburbs over. At that point, can't they get into legal trouble? In most places a pet is considered property from a legal standpoint, so that would be theft, also probably trespassing and possibly burglary. You shouldn't iron your clothes while you're wearing them. One guess as to how this came up. My uncle is in the hospital. What happened? He was ironing when the phone rang. Now he has burns on both sides of his face. Both sides? He had to call the hospital. I work with this guy who thinks that average precipitation is like some sort of quota that nature is obliged to meet. For example, if it's a particularly dry summer, he thinks it will just rain a lot in the last few days before summer ends. Look at that genius motherfucker, he just solved climate change. Don't worry farmers, I know it hasn't rained in 5 years and all your crops are dead. Nature's like required to give you more rain to make up for it. There's a girl I used to work with who didn't know submarines actually existed. PSSSHHHTTT. Next you'll be telling me there are rocket ships that can take man to the moon. Get out to here. You can still get diarrhea, even if you believe in Jesus. Well, there's my new t-shirt. New Mexico. It's a state. You have no idea the number of people that believe we are a part of Mexico. Such a weird misconception. If New Mexico were a part of Mexico, why would they bother calling it New Mexico anyways? Cold just called it more Mexico or something. Mexico Part 2.